I'm trying to get my life together this year, which includes getting around to reading all the unread books on my shelf, and I've been doing a lot of fun challenges for it, like my Read It or Unhaul It challenge, which can be a little cutthroat. But for this specific vlog, I wanted to attempt the Discworld series because it is so popular, and it's been on my shelf for years. And I mean years because I've been accumulating them. I like to use Bookshop, right? So I have a bunch of the first couple ones, and there are literal diagrams online on where you can or should start, which it's usually a sign that there are a lot of books, okay? I'm really intimidated. It's also a series that is meant to be funny, and I feel like humor can be really hit and miss, and I believe this is more like British humor, which again can be hit and miss. It's not what I'm necessarily the most familiar with, but I want to love it. And because there are multiple ways to start, I have gotten a lot of feedback from you, and I have an idea what might work for me. So I'm going to dedicate this week to trying to read as many of them as possible. I'm not going to rush it or anything, but just kind of trying a couple maybe of the first ones, or if there's a series that I really like, I'll just focus on that one. So we have options. I was told to not, and it was very, very strong, do not start with the actual first book of the series, so The Color of Magic. So I'm not going to. I heard you. I won't. Apparently, it's not the best way to start, and I do tend to have an aversion to, oh, you have to read the first 10 books in a series before it gets good. I'm not going to do that. So I heard you. I know I can start that one later on if I like the series. So, okay. I think same thing with the second book, so The Light Fantastic. Again, I heard you. One that was highly recommended for me to start with is this one. So this is technically book 3, but it's the first book in the Witches series. So this is Equal Rites, and I'm a huge fan of witches, so I will absolutely read this week. And then another one that I was highly recommended to start with, which is technically the 4th book, but the first book in the Death series, which I love following a character that is Death. I think it's fun. It's underused, I feel like. So I will also be trying this one. And I also have Guards, which I think can also be a way to start. And some of you told me that you also really love this one. It's thicker actually than the other ones. This one, oh, it's only 100 pages more. So it's 400 pages. It's not that big. So this one is technically book 8. But yes, a new series. And I have book 2 actually also in the Witches series because I was told I was going to love it. And again, I love witches. So when I saw it, I was like, you know what? Let me grab it. So I have options. Oh, and also I was told, again, I got a lot of feedback. A lot of you were really excited that audiobook would be a good way to start them. So I did check my library. They don't have many, but they did have Equal Rites as an audiobook. So I put my name on the waiting list. It's currently saying available soon, so it could be like any day. So I think I'm going to keep that as my second book, and I'm going to start with Mort. So I might try it as an audiobook just because, again, you were telling me that it's fantastic out loud. And I believe you because I read the first, page of this one and I was like, oh, I can see how people would feel that way because it says, this is a story about magic and where it goes, and perhaps more importantly, where it comes from and why, although it doesn't pretend to answer all or any of these questions. That's like the first sentence. And you can see that it seems to be all over the place, which in a good way. But yeah, I can see how this could be overwhelming to start as a series, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually really excited. So I'm hoping to at least give these 2 a shot, and if I have more time, if I love the Witches series, continue, or if I'm not feeling it, maybe try this 3rd way of starting. I feel like just explaining it is overwhelming, but I have the diagram. I will follow it. It's all good, and I'm hopeful. If it doesn't work, I'm telling myself it's not the end of the world. I'll just leave them at a small library and someone is going to be really excited to find them. I feel like at this point, they've been on my shelf for probably 5 years. I just need an answer. Whatever happens, happens. I've been making plans also to work on my channel a little bit more. I've been doing some decor, but I want to work on my thumbnails, for example, because they've been looking rough. And to do that, I will be using Skillshare, today's sponsor. Skillshare is a platform where you can learn new skills by joining classes. And what are you doing? I don't think that's what they had in mind. Should I be worried? Sometimes Claudia looks at me and Anyway, they have thousands of classes that are available. You can learn so many different skills, whether it's photography, design, entrepreneurship, apparently. Personally, I decided to join one called Social Media Content Creation in Canva. I'm really looking forward to seeing how I progress in the upcoming weeks. I really like how they have a learning by doing approach to teaching. I feel like it works really well for me and that I can go at my own pace. If you're interested in trying Skillshare, I'll put everything in the description box. Through the link, the first 500 people that use it will be able to get 1 month free trial. Definitely check it out, and I'm gonna go talk about world domination with Claudia. That is worrisome. Okay, really quick update. I just got access to the audiobook for the other book that I want to read. So I just wanted to make you listen to it because you guys were so right. The audiobook for it is absolutely perfect. Okay, so this is what it sounds like.
This is a story about magic and where it goes, and perhaps more importantly, where it comes from and why. Although
I feel like it sounds perfect as an audiobook, but either way, at first impression, might as well, we're here. I am 100 pages into the book. Well, 99. So far, nothing really has happened, I will admit. But I really like the writing style, so I understand why people said what they said, why people love it. Like, I put a few posted just a few of the things that made me giggle, but I feel like without the context, is it really that funny? I don't know. For example, it said that this very specific recipe with like fish entrails marinated for several years, blah blah, was an acquired taste, and it's like the main male character had decided not to make that effort. And like, valid, very, very valid. Oh, and at page 97, I wanted to ask, was there ever some kind of backlash by religious people? Because I feel like sometimes I'll read some books, like I had mentioned Eyes Dark Materials, that series in general, how there had been some backlash due to the content of the book. And there's a few comments in here. They're always telling folk how much better it's going to be when they're dead. We tell them it could be better right now, here, if only they put their minds to it. That's a witch saying that. And I feel like that's something that people might get mad at, but, you know, the author being a little cheeky. So yeah, that witch is making comments about that because she's about to die, I guess. And she comments about her appearance and saying how time has a lot to answer for. Anyway, so far I'm enjoying the tone of it. We'll see how I feel about the actual story, but I just wanted to celebrate the fact that I actually got access to the audiobook, and yeah, it sounds good. I think I'm gonna love it that way. I just wish my library had them. They only had like 2. So that kind of sucks. I'm gonna have to figure out something for that. If I like them. It's early, right? This is like 100 pages into book 1. So I have a lot of update to do because I finished this book, an audiobook, and I started the next one. Things just got very hectic very quickly. Long story short, I got a call this morning. I had an appointment at the dentist, and they were like, oh yeah, can you come in an hour early? And I was like, okay, I guess I can try. And I did that, and you know what? I ended up going into my appointment exactly at the time that I was meant to. So that was great. So I spent over an hour in the way. So I was able to start the second book. And I have to say, whoever, I know a few people mention it, but a few people mention audiobook is the way to go. You were right. Audiobook is the way to go. Just even better. Like, I enjoyed myself, don't get me wrong, but audiobook 100%. I feel like I've mentioned in the past that there's some books that I have yet to find a better way to describe it, but these books, I call them children's books for adults, which I don't mean that in a mean way or rude or whatever. It's just the best way to explain it because they kind of have a tone that feels more common in children's book. Either way. I tend to enjoy the jokes of those ones, but I never find myself that invested in the story. And I've mentioned that Princess Bride is a great example, or Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Like, they're, you know, you get the vibes. And that was my feelings with these two. And honestly, I feel the same with this one, but I like the writing more. Not that I dislike the writing in the other ones. I thought the jokes were funny, but I just really like how he can describe random things for like pages, but it's still interesting. I feel like some authors tend to just never stop. If you've read any classics, like so many French classics I know I've read, that, my gosh, can they yap, and like they were paid per word, so like I get it, but it gets a little long. But I don't have that feeling at all. I listened to the extract just so I would know how to pronounce the name, because mort in French is death. So like I thought that was the joke. Well, I guess it is still the joke, but it's short for Mortimer? Whatever. Mort. So yeah, I feel like the story is fine. This kid, his dad brings him to town and he has to become an apprentice. And while people are waiting, nobody's choosing him until like midnight, whenever death shows up and he becomes Death's Apprentice. And I mean, with that name, very fitting. And then the story just happens. I feel like, yes, some stuff happens, but considering the length of the book, it's mostly just random yapping and jokes. Again, the concept works, but the storyline was just okay. So I feel like I am excited to try the other one because witches, definitely more my jam. Well, I mean, I liked Death. It is late, can you tell? So I am looking forward to trying another one. I think that wasn't my feeling when I read Princess Bride or Trust of the Emerald Sea, which took me like 3 months to read. So yeah, I am still curious to continue trying, which is what I'm doing because again, I have the audiobook for that one and I feel like I'm gonna fly through that concept format. I really need to stop trying to record so late at night. But yes, I did enjoy it, mostly because of the humor. I like the writing style, but I think that the one I'm currently starting, I'm like almost 30% into it already because, thank you, dental office. So I think I'm going to round it down to a 3, which for me is good. It means it was fun. I enjoyed myself, and I'm looking forward to continuing to do the one. And I mentioned I finished another one. Say You'll Remember Me is a very new release. It came out, I think, April 1st. And this is I thought it was more than that, but I think it's only my 4th book by the author. And it's the 2nd time she writes a romance book with a male character I like. I feel like a lot of the really popular ones have the most toxic douche canoe ever. They'll do some awful stuff to the female character and you're supposed to still root for him. It's like, I'm not doing that. So often I just find myself frustrated with some of the really popular ones. But this one and Part of Your World, which is the first book in another series, they're more companion novels really than anything, I've enjoyed the male character. And I thought it was the same narrator, but then some people told me it wasn't. And I refused to look it up because I don't want to know what he looks like. Because I like his voice. I feel like I tend to be picky with voices. I feel like sometimes people will like do both genders and sometimes it can be hard. But yeah, I liked it. If you're looking at it, I am gonna give it 4-star. It's still fresh, but I think so. I liked it overall. The situation was hard, but very recently I mentioned that I was reading a book and I felt like the humor was juvenile, like talking about human feces, making a joke with it, and it made me feel like I'm not the target audience. And I wanted to mention that because it makes me laugh now, because in this one technically there's a butthole joke, but it works because he's a vet and she's bringing a little kitten that she found and the kitten does not have a butthole. So that I feel like that is my exception, so I wanted to mention it because I feel like sometimes there are exceptions, and in that very, very specific context, it worked. But yeah, you get the like grumpy sunshine, which I don't think I had really, I mean, I probably tried it without realizing, but it was very obvious in this one, and they go well together, so I get it. So yeah, that's how my week is going so far. We're surviving, barely. We were supposed to be done with winter, and it's like the 3rd time that it looks like we're done, and then we're getting another snowstorm, which is probably why I have like 2 brain cells left. So that's where we're at. Surviving, gonna go to bed, and I will continue the audiobook tomorrow. I should probably start another one like physically, but I don't have much going on up there right now. And I will admit, I have been watching TV shows, specifically The Pit. Have you watched it? So far so good, and I think that right now I'm gonna go and continue binge watching it because why not? I feel like I've mentioned that I've been like on and off in a slump for the last couple of weeks, and doing anything else sometimes works. Like I don't have to, you know what, before I even started doing booktube videos, I had told myself that I feel like there's a minimum amount of books that you should be reading in order to keep your videos interesting. And like, it's in my head, right? But at the end of the day, it's true. Because when you're starting, you have read like 0 books in years, and you can't really do like favorites or recommendation videos because you keep repeating the same books over and over again. And I used to get comments about it, like, oh, you're always talking about the same books, which like, how many books a year do you read? How many are actual favorites that you could recommend in certain contexts? Like, people have weird expectations, but that's just, you know, a very loud minority online. So you put these expectations in your head, But realistically speaking, it's a lot of pressure to read so many books all the time. And I normally don't feel that pressure. I want to make that clear. But when I'm feeling in a reading slump, I start feeling it. Because nobody's going to come to my house and beat me up with like thick hardback covers if I don't read 2-3 books a week, right? But there's part of me in my brain. That part does not speak English. And it's just, lis les livres. Come on. So yeah, that hopefully made somewhat some sense. And I need to just learn to chill, but I think that it's gonna just naturally happen when I don't feel in such a slump. I swear, literally everyone I know is struggling right now, like mentally or just energy-wise, because we keep having a couple good days and then another snowstorm, which is so demoralizing, especially 3 times in a row. So like in a month, it's very depressing, but there is a law. After my birthday, which is April 12th, it is not allowed to happen again. We're not allowed to have snow. So we're supposed to have a really great day on the 12th. No choice. That's the law. So yeah, I can definitely finish at least that audiobook before my birthday, because then I'm going to take the day off, or maybe I'll start my arcs. That's another story. But yeah, that's it. Finished one book that was part of the challenge, finished one that wasn't, but that was good. And I'm currently enjoying the witchy vibes of the other one, and I'm enjoying the pet. So that's it. So I feel like I'm in a better mood now than when I started. I feel like the grumpiness, I feel like it keeps coming back. But it's the snow, okay? Nobody wants to shovel in April. I keep seeing videos of people being like, oh, I can wear dresses outside already. I kept trying to see if I had anything I could pretend threaten someone with, but I don't have anything good. Like, I literally don't have anything good. Anything, Emily, literally. Oh, there you go. Eyebrow scissors? Yeah, no. Anyway, clearly, I'm gonna go watch the pit and crash into tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day where I will hopefully know how to speak English again. If you speak more than one language, can you please reassure me that it happens to you too? Because my gosh, I feel like sometimes it's just, even if you speak one language. Okay, I'm gonna go cuddle my cats. This is what I look like when I try to edit. It's just Charlie harassing me. Anyway, just a last minute addition. I wanted to ask, because I've been getting a lot of comments on Goodreads saying that I should make it clear that my reviews contain spoilers. And they do. They always have. So I don't understand why people are complaining that I've shown spoilers, because this is what I see. So you can see, view spoilers. It's always been like this. And it's this book. It's always been like this. But I've been getting a bunch of comments saying like, oh, you should have warned us about the spoiler. You should have flagged it. It is. Are you watching it from like a different, is it the app? Is it the computer? Is it like Android? I don't know, but it's bugging me. I keep getting the comment, and like, I always am so careful with spoilers. Anyway.
If spring is the season that wakes me alive, then fall is the season to contemplate life. Oh, yeah. I don't know what is it exactly in this time of year that makes the melancholy me reappear. Oh, yeah. Back and forth through dark roast coffee, salt, mist, and sea, sand and amber trees. 'Cause it still feels like summer, but it's soaked in nostalgia slowly. All the leaves start turning brown. 'Cause it still feels like summer, and I simply don't wanna see the cool wind sneak back in our town. 'Cause we lived when it was our bare feet, tan skin glistening beneath the heat, evening swirl into a bird song beat. God, it's now so very bittersweet. So I guess on forgetting, times learn how to fly, and before I know it, it passes me by. Oh, I don't know why when life is beautiful, I start to fear it'll slip through my fingers and just disappear. Oh, back and forth through dark roast coffee, salt, mist, and sea, sand and amber trees. 'Cause it still feels like summer, but it's soaked in the
I did it. I wasn't sure I was going to, but I did it. I feel like my week was all over the place, and I thought maybe doing this challenge was not the right timing because I've been in a reading slump. But I did a lot of other things, not necessarily by choice, but a lot of other things, and I managed to finish my second book as an audiobook, which was perfect that way. I will show you my physical copy, but if you have a sensitive soul, don't look, okay? Because this is gonna hurt. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. How did that even happen as I was listening to the audiobook? Yeah. Long story short, I liked it even more. I think that, I mean, Witches was the way to go. If my only complaint would be that I wish it was more about the grandma, that isn't really a grandma, but grandma was cool, and I wish it were more about the witches, less about the wizards. Why would a man be there? You know, that sound? So plot-wise, the main female character, she's a young girl, actually at birth. She was left with a wizard's staff, and girls are not wizards, they become witches. So it's kind of hidden from her, and obviously it comes back, not haunt her, but, you know, it comes back into her life. She can't hide away from her destiny, and as she is at Granny's place, a witch, things evolve very fast, and she ends up going kind of to magical school, which is a trope I like. It's not really what happens, but, you know, kind of. And she kind of has the power of witches and wizards. But it made me realize that the title, Equal Rights, could be Equal Rights. Because again, girls are not allowed. Or like girls weren't allowed in the library and like things like that. So I appreciate the humor. And a lot of people had commented that the author is quite progressive in his books. So I'm assuming that's part of it. If you know more, obviously let us know, because this is just me dipping my toes into his writing. And yeah, that's why I'm saying that I kind of wish it was more about the witches than the wizards, but I get what he was doing with the story and the title. So I think I will be reading the second one eventually. I'm assuming it might be a bit more about witches, and you're following still Granny Weatherwax. So yeah, I just wish I had access to the audiobook. So yeah, what's the point of having my library card? I can't even finish that sentence. I love my library. Anyway, so I did really enjoy that one because of the witches. I still like the joke, the tone. It just works. Would have had time, okay, if I'm being honest, to also read that one. But like I said earlier, I binge watched a bit, finished it. It was good. I also finally have an answer about the water infiltration in my basement, which I mentioned recently. I was really worried it was going to cost me thousands of dollars, even with insurance, right? Turns out I will not need to involve them because it's not my drain. It's like the plumbing that brings the wires to my electrical panel. Apparently it's not properly. Apparently I'm not even the only one on my street. But yeah. So it should, the quote is $700, so I will not have to involve my insurance. Will they still increase my payments? They said they wouldn't when I called them at first. I don't believe them. Either way. I also got my life together a little bit. Not as much as I wanted to, but you saw me. I cleaned up a little bit, and you might have had a sneak peek of books I'm accumulating for a book haul. Honestly, I haven't been in the mood to shop much. I don't know if it's the spring cleaning I've been doing or just during the winter. I did the same thing last year. I don't know. The funk. But slowly I'm accumulating enough books. Probably next month I'll do one. But yeah, I finished my second book, which, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, am I supposed to tape it? It just feels like I own a crime. You can see a crime was committed. Anyway, I will read eventually Booktube, even though if you were looking at them, I say go for it. Choose the storyline that appeals to you the most. And if you like audiobook, please do it. Please do it. But yeah, I'm going to end the vlog here even though I could continue tomorrow. But tomorrow's my birthday. So happy birthday to me and my new friend. And yeah, I think I'm gonna not read at all tomorrow. And after that, I'm gonna start my arcs because I keep getting some. I don't know. The last couple of years, I got none, and I keep getting so many amazing ones. So I will keep you updated. But yeah, not too bad. Maybe. You know what? I'm feeling generous. So a 3-star, a 4-star. Finally got around to trying this ridiculously big series that terrified me, and I had no need to be terrified. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. More on the screen, and oh, Claudia is already yelling at me. I think these classes are working a little too well. So if you're interested in Skillshare, I'll put everything in the description box. She's already practicing and terrifying me. So yay! I'll see you in my next video. Bye.